Hello, welcome to the fifth tutorial in our making Minecraft with Python using the Ursina engine by Petter Amland. So this is tutorial 5. Let's just change that. So all I've done, just to set things up again, for this tutorial code, I'm kind of keeping a Python module for each tutorial. So we've got tutorial 1, tutorial 2, 3, and so forth. And all I've done is copy tutorial 4, renamed it to tutorial 5, so that I've got exactly the same code as where we left off in the previous tutorial. So let's just have a look at what we've got, and then we can decide what we're going to do in this video. Which might be slightly shorter than the other videos, although when I say that, usually things go over an hour. So we're building up our terrain. We've got our mob, our mobile entity looking at us, our giant chicken goose man. Oh yeah, and the last thing that we did was create this like building tool. So we've just got a wireframe, or rather a wireframe texture. It's not rendered in wireframe, it is a texture with some transparency in the center, and then just that, it's just a square really. It is just a square, the PNG, but because that's mapped around the UVs of our model here, which is a cube, we've got the effect of having a wireframe cube. And so what we did last time is if I press the left mouse button, we get some stone. We've added a very easy shake animation to that, which you don't have to use at all, but I quite like it, to make some blocks. And they've got colliders on because we've set the collider on. We also use the right mouse button now to delete them. So if your build tool is kind of focused over the area where your block is, then we can like mine it. Although it's not real mining, because if we go into the ground and try and delete that, it doesn't work. And I've been trying, behind the scenes, I've been playing around with a couple of ways to sort this out, to do some like proper mining, and as yet I haven't found a good solution. I found like ways to deform the vertices themselves, but it doesn't look like Minecraft, so I'll keep working on that. Okay, so this time what we want to do in this video tutorial, what we want to do is be able to switch the building like tool off and on, because at the moment maybe you just want to explore your terrains, and it's annoying kind of having this this wireframe cube in front of you. So we want to be able to maybe press F, and then that toggles off and on the build tool. Also, we want to be able to use different kinds of blocks. So if we press like the number keys, we can go through like 4 different block types. So that's what we'll do. And if we have any other more time, maybe we could get our pickaxe model sorted. So let's try that. Right. So. I'm just going to scroll down to where we've got all our building stuff, our building code. And again, this has just reminded me that really, now that our file, how long is it? Is it over 200? It's getting towards 200 lines now. This should be just like our main.py module, and all the little different parts of our code, like our build tool, our terrain code, our subject or player code, maybe the mob models, all these different bits should be in their own modules, so maybe their own files, and then they kind of all communicate together so that it's very easy to find each individual bit. At the moment what I'm doing is having to scroll through, so if not next video, maybe the one after that, I should sort out organizing that before it gets all too big. Okay, so anyway, I was scrolling down to where my build tool stuff is, because here what I want to do, let's first do different block types. So let's write ourselves a variable called block type, and then it'd be nice to say something like, you know, stone or grass, let's say. But these types, these capitalized types, don't exist, so we could build that ourselves using like enums, but I'm going to use an old-fashioned way. I'm just going to class B type. There we go, for block type. And then I'm going to say 1 equals grass or stone. Whoops. Autocomplete just helping me out there. Oh no, that's so annoying. How do I get off that? I just want to go to the next line. There we go. 2, we want grass maybe. If anyone knows, can you let me know in the comments, how do I prevent that happening? I.e. the auto-completion in a nice efficient way. So I can get it into my muscle memory so I'm not doing it anymore. Should we say, I don't know, Ruby? Ruby and 4 wood. So that'd be like brown or soil, I guess. It feels like soil should come before Ruby. Soil. And then Ruby. There we go. How have I done this in the other one, actually? Did I go? Oh no, I used the color. Right. Okay. So we're going to do this the other way. We're going to start with these, and then so that we can convert straight to an Ursina color variable. So stone wants to be white, or I don't know. What did I have it before? So I've already used texture is stone texture. Oh, so it must just be white at the moment. 2 for 5, 2 5, 2 5 5. And then we want grass obviously to be green. We want soil to be brown. I've forgotten how to do brown. Red and maybe a little bit of green and maybe some blue. We'll have a look at the soil colour. A bit scared. And then ruby, that's nice and easy, just bright red. Okay, so what does this do? In other words, now I can write btype dot grass, and what that means is wherever this appears, I've actually got this color setting, this variable, this RGB value there. So basically this does mean bright green. If I were to write btype dot soil, then we've got this color. Ruby, then we've got this color automatically, like replaces that code in capitals here. So I've got my block type. So when I'm in input, let's do this at the end, I can say if key is 1, then block type equals B type soil, for example. There we go. And then I can just copy and paste those for my 4 block types. Grass, stone, wasn't it? So, sorry, this should be stone. So we'll go stone, or should we have, we'll start with soil, then go grass, then stone, and then ruby. You can have fun coming up with what key bindings you want for yours. There we go. I'm kind of like thinking of a hierarchy of like value for those. Right, so we've got block type sorted. We might need to, actually, I was going to say global block type, so this, so that this function, the input function, knows what I'm talking about in terms of block type. But let's just take that out and see if it doesn't work, just in case you get the same bug. so you can watch me sort it out. Okay, so we've got a block type. So we've bound those two different keys, but that's not actually interacting yet with the blocks that we're creating. So let's just go and find the build function. Here it is, build. So it's duplicating that wireframe block in front of us. It's got a collider. It's got a texture, which remember I made in monotone or monochrome. Monochrome. Anyway, it's not got any hue. So when we set a color, it's like that color shines through the texture. That's why it's important to make that original texture kind of monochrome, so that you can apply any texture through it. So color will equal the build type there we go, will equal the build type, because the build type, oh sorry, not build type, block type, that's why I was getting confused, will equal the block type, and the block type will always equal one of these color values. So that's why we've gone straight to the color values instead of the way I was doing it before with numbers and things. There we go. The block type. Right. So presumably if this function can't read this variable, we need to make it a global function or refer to it as a global function. Right. What would also be nice is if the wireframe cube in front of us was displaying kind of the color of the block type that we've selected. So here's a build tool. So its position is derived from our player's position. So the last thing we could do is say, oh yeah, build tool entity. Is that what I called it? Its color will equal also the build, block type. So again, because I made the, let's go and have a look at that. If I look in the assets, because I made the wireframe, there we go, white, texture white, so it's just a white square. Because that's white, any color we apply to it will shine through, including white. I can close that down now, can't I? Okay, right, let's save a file, just go and run it and see if we've broken everything. Yes. B type has no attribute grass. It does, it's right there. Class B type. Line 39. Oh, wait a minute. Do I need to use... Do I know what I'm doing? Let's have a look at my code. I've missed out some kind of syntax. Oh, I've used colons instead of... instead of equals. I'm getting mixed up with my enums. Right. Hopefully that's okay. I didn't use a space there. Is that okay, Python? Yes. Oh, so already we can see a change. Our build tool entity is now bright green, which means if I press left, yes, we've now got grass blocks. If I press 1, it should stay as grass. Wait a minute. 1 should be soil, I think. 2, yeah, I'm pressing 2, and it's still green. Oh no! I'm pressing 3, it's still green. Pressing 4, it's still green. Right, what on earth is going on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not doing anything. Right. I want to start with stone anyway. No, I want to start with soil. So at least if we start with soil. Oh, here's my soil colour. I got brown wrong. Well, not completely wrong. It's almost brown, isn't it? It's kind of like a pinky brown. Okay, so press 1, still got brown. Press 2, it's staying brown. So I think what's going wrong here is the global variable issue. If it isn't that, I'm going to be scared because I have no idea. So we're referring to the block type here, but does build know what block type is? Or rather, this might be the problem. The way this in my editor is displaying block type, it seems to be grayed out, so I don't think it knows what it is. So let's say global variable, use the global variable block type. Otherwise, block type here will work, but it'll be a new declaration of a local variable. So it'll only have scope within this function. Okay, so I've just done the one global block type in the input function. Let's see if that's sorted it. So we've got our soil block type. Press 1, it stays soil. Okay, good. Press 2, it goes green. That was it. Brilliant. So it's just that global variable. I'm very pleased. And I can make, oh, now we can start having fun. We can now build some decent looking things. Oh dear. If I kind of replace the terrain, it doesn't look too good. So maybe, okay, what could we do there? We can either prevent you from building stuff where the terrain already is. That'd probably be the best thing. Otherwise, what we could do is make the blocks that we're building slightly higher, slightly larger, but only by like a millimeter, half a millimeter. So it won't make any difference in terms of standing on them or getting in the way, and it won't look irregular, but it will, in terms of the visual, it'll look just above the rest of the train. Because here, it's depending on the calculations of there being two objects in exactly the right position, which looks terrible. So they're kind of tearing each other's textures. Anyway, number 3, yep, we've got stone. And number 4, we've got ruby. Wonderful. And in just the same way, we can delete our blocks as long as we're looking at them with the right mouse button. Good. Good. So, yeah, a proper solution would be, oh yeah, we've done number 1, change building block type. Sorry, I'm just looking at the my to-do list at the top here. So here, 1, that's done. Number 2 is maybe toggle build mode. 3 would be prevent building when already entity present. Yes. Which we could do with a ray cast. So it's like an invisible physics ray that, like a laser beam, that starts at a position that you set and goes in a certain vector, the direction that you set for the distance that you set, the magnitude of that vector, and then if it hits anything with a collider, then you can get some information about what the entity is, the position, and things like that. Or we could use, as I think we're already using, are we using it? Where's mine? We're using like the mouse position. Oh, there we go. Yeah, if we've got a hovered entity. If the hovered entity exists, then we can't build. Let's just try that. Let's just say E equals mouse hovered entity if E, so if E exists, basically we want to say if E does not exist, then you can build something. I think that makes sense. So if we're not hovering over any kind of entity, then off you go, you can build. So we can try that out. What else was I just saying? Not building. Oh yeah, toggle the build mode. So let's sort that out. Let's create that. This should be fairly easy. And then I might even stop. Oh, under 30 minutes would be amazing. Under 25 would be even better. So we'll say build mode equals. Now we could go for booleans. We could go for like true and false and things like that. But if we say 1 or -1, so 1 will be on, -1 will be off, it means that we can toggle that in one line. Let me show you what I mean. So we can say build mode equals -1, and then I'll just write myself a reminder of what that means. Off, or what if I change this later on? -1 is off, 1 is on. There we go. Build mode. And then in the input function, I probably want to make this a global. I want to refer to the global variable, build mode. And then I'll do it down here with the build stuff. So I'll say if key is F, we'll say, then build mode, I want to multiply by itself, so that's star or asterisk equals, so it's multiplied by its present value -1. So if it was -1, -1 times -1 is 1. And if it was 1, i.e. if its build mode is on, then 1 times -1 is -1. So it switches to the opposite. If it was 1, it's -1. If it's -1, it's 1. So it's a nice way of just toggling in one line. Every time you press F, build mode is the opposite of what it was before. Okay. And then we want to actually have that affect what we're doing. So we want to say, if you're in build mode, then you can do these things. You can do destroying things and building things. So you want to say, if build mode is 1 and the key press is left, then you can do that. Else, if build mode is 1 and the key is the right mouse up, then you can destroy. Also, we only want to display our BTE when we're in build mode. We do that here. So at the end of the update loop, this is where we're repositioning our build tool. So we only want to do that if we're in build mode. So if build mode is 1, then display the build tool. Or I guess we should probably do that in the build tool itself. So where's the build tool? There he is, build tool. So we want to say if build mode is -1, so if we're off, then BTE visible equals false. And then just return. Else BTE visible equals true. Right, so we've got our build mode, which we should be able to toggle with the F key. And we've hopefully got some code in here that actually makes a difference. When we're in build mode, the build tool wireframe thing should be visible. If not, it's not visible and we don't see it, and also we can only build if we're in build mode, and we can only like mine or pseudo mine if we're in build mode. Right, I've just hit 25 minutes. Let's play and see if all those things work. Oh, what's the other thing? I did something else, didn't I? Oh yeah, I just tried out if the mouse is if there's an entity already in the place we're looking, then we shouldn't be able to build anything. Right, and it looks like we're not in build mode. So if I press F, we're in build mode. Press F again, we're not in build mode. Can I build in non-build mode? Doesn't look like I can. Right, so now I'm in build mode. Can I build though? Yes. I can build when we're hovering over something. Let's try that again there. Yeah, okay. So my first solution didn't work. Oh, interesting. I'm not able to build there. So sometimes there is an entity in the way. So it's a very bad solution. Not only does it not work, it also prevents us building when we should be able to build. So it's a particularly bad solution. So I need to go and delete that before I go to the next thing. Go to the next tutorial. Yeah, like here, I'm having trouble building because presumably these lower blocks are now in the way. Anyway, we can do that. We can come off build mode, and that all works fine. Oh, we can jump through blocks at a certain height. That's not my fault. That's the first-person controller doesn't kind of cast rays in the middle of our body. So our head can kind of hit things sometimes. Our feet can certainly hit things, but not our body. So that's another thing we might want to look at is, I did mention it in a previous video, I think. Also, it'd be nice, I like it, instead of having to just jump when you get to blocks, I like it if we just automatically step up. And there'll be a way to do that with raycast. And also we might be able to, because it's a very similar thing we're doing, we might want to try to correct that mistake where where our head is kind of jumping through blocks. It's like if our feet are clear of a block, we can sometimes, jump through them. Okay, so let's just delete my first go at prevent builder when already present, not done. Toggle the build mode, that worked fantastically, so we've done that, that's fine. I've got to think where it is now. Oh, it was in build mode, isn't it? So we want to take away this if mouse hovered. Right, so we might have to do that raycasts. I'm talking about raycasts a lot to do with the player's movement, the first-person controller, and in terms of detecting if there's something in the way. So to prevent building. So maybe we need a whole tutorial, like lesson dedicated on all those things that involve raycasts. So maybe I'll do that in an upcoming episode. Tutorial. Okay. Okay. We've got 1 minute left. No, I'll finish here. Right, thank you very much for watching. Again, in the comments, let me know if you have any requests or any questions, or if you can help me out with anything. I'll be happy to hear from you. Right, thank you very much. Goodbye.